Brittany, girl, you back. Is Brittany Renner back? Y'all, she done took that hair out. She said, I've been wearing these cornrows under this hijab for too long. I need to let my hair free. There are a lot of people in the comments talking about she's back to her old ways. I don't know. Marrying Kevin Gates for like 30 days seem kind of on brand for her. I know that in the Muslim community, the hijab does not make a Muslim. I know that. But for Brittany all basketball wives, okay? Brittany is still doing Brittany. The only thing Brittany is doing differently is maybe her choice in men that she's dating. This is a signal for some people. I don't think it's a signal. I think she just wants her hair to fly free, but I could be wrong. What y'all think? Y'all think the old Brittany about to come back, or it's the new Brittany, bitch? I'm just asking for a friend. Removing the hijab does make people speculate, but I don't think that has anything to do with her religion at all. I think she just want her hair out, and ain't nothing wrong with that.
Brittany Renner was known for being the 304. You know, she was out there dating all kinds of athletes, entertainers, and bragging about it. You know, coming online drunk, going on shows, YouTube shows and acting crazy, you know what I mean, with short skirts on. She was just out there being a garden tool. But then out of nowhere, she embraced Islam and said that she was getting away from that life. She came online talking like this.
What made you choose Islam? I didn't. I am a human with very limited power and awareness, but I have learned that God selects who he wills for his mercy.
So after she embraced Islam, you know, she posted this thing, Allah chose me, alhamdulillah. Right? And, you know, she was making all kinds of videos, going online, saying how she changed her life. She was abstaining from sex. And, you know, she was saying that when you abstain from sex, you can see the world more clear. God and his divine, Allah and his divine ways chooses the ones to walk the right path. You know, so she was saying all these different things because, you know, she was embracing something different in her life, right? And I guess she wanted to make changes. So she was online talking like this.
I have not been on a date since I've been Muslim. Now, there have been plenty of married Muslim men in my DMs, and just because it's permissible does not mean I have to sign up for it. I didn't come this far to be one of several, so let's be very crystal clear on that. When you go without sex for an extended amount of time and you are honoring yourself in a way that you never have before, you really start to see where people are leaking their energy, where they lack discipline.
So in these videos, she's admitting that she had a horrible energy and she had horrible intentions when she was going out looking for a mate, right? She was young. She was young. She wanted to have fun. She wanted to frisbee the coochie around to anybody that would jump up and catch it, right? And then at some point, she started to feel empty. I'm giving my body to these men and I'm not getting anything out of it. And all they get to do is go do high fives and make fun of me. But I was making myself a sell. But at the same time, didn't want to take accountability and wanted to blame everybody else for my actions, right? So she embraced Islam and she said now that she's abstaining from sex, she's going to make the right decisions. She's going to make better decisions for herself in choosing her mates. She's going to think before she moves. She's going to take Allah with her, and ask him to guide her steps, right? But then she got with Kevin Gates. And we know that Kevin Gates, you know, he's a little sugary. But she gets with Kevin Gates, and all of a sudden she's married. But remember, Kevin Gates is still married to Drika Gates. He still has his situations going on, right? And everybody said, well, why would you do that when you just embraced Islam? Why would you go get a high-profile person and get right back into the cameras when you're working on getting out of the cameras and working on changing your life, right? So she gets with Kevin Gates. Everybody warned her. But then at the BET Awards, she did an interview and dropped this bombshell.
We got married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced?
Yes. But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant because then he would be responsible, right? And then also in those 90 days, it's for reconciliation because Allah wants you to stay married.
So at the BET Awards, you know, they asked Kevin Gates about the situation with Brittany Renner, and he said that he didn't want to talk about it. You know, he had no comment. And then we all saw, her interview where she said about her loving herself and putting herself first and all these different things. But she was still going around doing interviews and saying that she was going to become more conservative. She wanted to get rid of her tattoos and she wanted to stay on the faith. Right? She wasn't going to deviate or alter her decisions. She was going to stay on the faith and follow Allah. Right? That's what she said. Check it out.
People want me to hang on to my past. I don't have to. I am choosing removal. I'm choosing tattoo removal. Like, this is my choice. You're either going to suffer by making the sacrifice, or you're going to suffer because you're not sacrificing. My future self doesn't want these tattoos anymore. I'm just going a different direction. At any point in time, you can change the direction of your pen. So I think for me, it's like peaceful, powerful, both. I can let go. Like, I don't have to hang on to it anymore.
So I think once that man left and she was feeling lonely, right, she started to look at Islam and say that it's too strict for me. I'm tired of wearing my hair in cornrows to have to put my hijab on. I'm tired of having to walk around all covered up and I can't wear my hair out. I can't show my body. It's burning up out here and I'm hot, right? So not under the leadership of a man, she started to get back to her old ways, and she, and all of a sudden she did a 360 and her conservatism went out the door and she back to being a liberal again, right? She wants to live her life. She wants to walk in her truth. And then she put this post. I'm not interested in shrinking myself to fit in anywhere. Now she's saying this, right? And she posted this with a Glorilla song playing in the back. Then she came with a bundle of Brittany. I don't have blind loyalty to any person, place, or thing. I also don't need excuses to do what I want to do because I accept whatever comes behind my decisions. It's still alhamdulillah for everything. Hope this helps, right? But she still has a law in her heart, but she's just not going to follow by the rules no more. She's going back to being Brittany. So that sparked a lot of people that have opinions to come on social media and say this.
Brittany Renner is no longer wearing a hijab and has a full-blown afro on Instagram and talks about on her story how she had to wear braids just to be able to fit her hair under a hijab, and she's not going to compromise or shrink herself to meet anyone's standards or approval. And whether it be like Islam and the culture or acceptance from Kevin Gates, the person she's claiming she was legally married to, I'm sure those are one of the two references. Now, this is very interesting because people are calling BS with Brittany Renner. They're saying, hey, you took all your twerking videos down when you got with PJ Washington, and then you put them up as soon as you broke up, as soon as you're not with Kevin Gates anymore. Now you got an afro and you're like disrespecting the hijab. Some people are going to have issues with it. Some people are going to say, hey, she's living in a truth and appreciate her for just being, I guess, her at every turn and corner.
So it wasn't just this dude. There was people all over social media saying this. So this one woman said, going to L in multiple religions is wild. Bro, put that blank back on before the woman of Islam disown you, right? Then another woman said, she's the definition of if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right? Then somebody said, imagine she did this blank in Iran, right? Then somebody said, so she's done cosplaying being a Muslim, right? Then somebody said, Kevin Gates scared you to go back to yourself. Laughing my butt off, right? Man, listen. Then somebody said, don't play with God like that, right? Another person said, knew this wasn't going to last long. You could tell it wasn't in her, right? LOL, right? So you had all kinds of people. Basically coming at this woman. And I'll say this. Listen, man. If you want to embrace like Islam or any type of religion, you got to do it for yourself. You got to do it if it's in your heart, right? You can't do it for no man. You can't do it just because you feeling some type of way at that time. You have to do it when you're ready, right? And like I said, God knows what's in your heart, right? But the thing is, you can't go back to doing the things that you was doing, but still saying that you want to propagate the word of God. You have to stand on some type of principles. You have to live by something. Now, I know that Brittany is very young and she's a digital baby. She's very highly influenced by the attention of others from social media. And that's why the scripture says, seek me. Seek the attention in me. Greater is he that is in me that is in the world. Or it also says, 2 Corinthians 6:17, it says, come out from amongst them and be ye separate. Right? So you have to seek God, right? And not seek the approval or the attentions of others, because it's going to always take you backwards. So when she comes online and she's making statements saying I don't have to wear a hijab, or I don't have to do certain things to fit in, what you're doing now is showing that you're hearing the whispers, you're listening to the audience instead of listening to God. You driving in the car, you done kick God out the whip. You done got to the light and said, okay, I got this far, I don't need you no more. But when you was down bad and you didn't, you was at your wit's end, you called on the law to come help you, to come build you back up, to come get your confidence back up, right? Once you got that, now you done kicked the law back, you done kicked him out the car at the light. Oh, I got this, I'm gonna do this on my own now. So every time you fall, you gonna keep coming back on your knees? No, how about you just have some standards and you stand on the principles, right? You stand on the principles and you be a light in a dark room. That's what you do. So, but Brittany, she has her own walk. Brittany has to figure it out for Brittany. When she made that decision to go ahead with Kevin Gates, the weirdo who's that disrespectful stuff that he said about LeBron's wife. We see what he did with Drika. That dude, I already think that dude. He's a switch hitter. He's plays for the other team, right? You can see it, right? But he's a weirdo. And when you say you want to make these changes in your life from the behavior that you displayed to the world, why would you hit your wagon and go get with something like that? And then when it doesn't happen, you start to revert back to your old self, because now you're back to being depressed again. Instead of seeking the face, instead of really seeking the wisdom from Allah. Why wouldn't you do that? So, well, again, you got your hair out, you got Glorilla in the back, you're going backwards. And the reason why you're going backwards is because you're seeking the attention of strangers. You're a digital baby. You have to come online and get validation from them. And I tell you, people that's watch these videos, forget Brittany Renner. How can you learn from this? Because there's a lot of you out there that's just like her, or doing the same things. How can you learn? When trials and tribulations come, or when you have to be held accountable for some of your decision making, when you move further away from the Most High, or when you move closer to the Most High. The decision is yours. You have to make the decision. I'm going to cut this video short here. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace. Now, because I mentioned the Most High and God in this video, let's see how many views this video gets. Peace.